All right, sitting here with the co-owners of the Seneca War Chiefs JR.B 2014. Sitting here with Charlie SCANLAN to my right and Mike SNYDER to my left. First question I got for you guys is, how'd you guys come about making your own team and finding it?
The opportunity presented itself through the ILA, and it took some time to think about. All our boys are always heading up north. It's a lot of time and expense and travel. Just wanted to give our kids the opportunity to have something here at home. So I started the process of looking into the JR.B program, and I got so far, and I realized I really couldn't do it on my own. And I got a hold of one of my good friends, obviously Michael. And I talked with Michael a little bit about it, and that's kind of how it started for me. Just snowballed from there.
Mike, how'd you take the approach from Charlie? I mean, you grew up a player, but I mean, did you have a background in coaching, or how'd that come about of joining? What made you jump on board?
Well, yeah, I've been coaching for a long time. Basketball, football. It's a little bit of lacrosse, but not too much. Soccer, baseball, softball. But this is a whole different endeavor. Owning a team is a lot different than coaching a team. There's a lot more stressors that a coach doesn't have to worry about. But for me, it was the opportunity for our kids to play home. To be quite honest, I got sick of our boys going out to Six Nations and winning championships for them. But I know that they could win them here for us. And I know the talent's always been here. So it was that opportunity for me is what really made me start to help pull it all together.
Okay. What was the first move as owners once you guys joined up together and decided to go forward and approach this team? What was your first, step in the blueprint of building a team? Was it contacting coaches, players? How did that come about?
What was the first step?
I think we actually sat down and, we decided what approach we wanted to take as far as what was best in the best interest of our team. And the first thing we really had to come up with was a name. So we started off with a bunch of different names, and Michael came up with the name, the War Chiefs, and I liked it. It wasn't like it was unique or anything, but it fit us. It fit what we were trying to do. We weren't trying to offend anybody by naming it the War Chiefs, but it fit for what we were doing. Then once we moved on, we've got a name. We obviously, the steps were to get
team
colors, the artwork, and we reached out to our friends, for our logo, Darren Smith, and then we got a hold of Cody SNYDER. Cody SNYDER helped us with our jerseys, designing them, the colors. So a lot of friends and family have stepped forward in a big way because they want to see this move. I think once that happened, we sat down and we thought, okay, who can coach this? And obviously, we have plenty of coaches around here that are certified into coaching at these levels. But we wanted our kids to buy into the program. We wanted to give them the best opportunities to move forward, lacrosse-wise, moving up the ladder of lacrosse, and school-wise, giving them that top coach that can help them maybe get into a good college or a good prep school.
So it was a coach with connections. It's not just a good coach, but one that could promote our kids. Because we noticed that a lot of the high schools don't really do a good job promoting our kids to get up to the next level. So.
And with the advancement of late, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you had just a few guys from Onondaga going to OCC. It seemed like that was the only path. Now with this JR.B program, do you see more you guys bringing college scouts in?
That's the next step. That's the next step. I've actually reached out to a couple. One of our scouts, Bill Brennan, I talked with him last week, and that's his task. I told him I want to see Canisius coach here. I want to see these Division I's in our area. I want to see them here.
Okay. And now you guys landed Darius Kilgore. Was he primarily the first target? I mean, how did you guys come across Darius?
My son played for the Junior A's last year. Darius was his coach. And once we started the process of this, you know, I reached out to Darius, and knowing what I knew about the game, where I've played, what Michael and I were offering, as far as you get to build a team. You know, there's going to be a lot of native boys here. You're going to have all the talent in the world to mold in your own way, to make your own team. You'll be able to do whatever you want to do with these boys as far as lacrosse is concerned, and teach them and mentor them in this game. He was intrigued. He's been dealing with you know, different teams over the past few years, and this was kind of a step back for him. You know, to kind of reevaluate himself, I believe, as far as what he was looking for. And we have a beautiful facility and top players to play in it. So you know, he came aboard. You know, we really didn't have to coax him too much. You know, we talked with him for a little bit, and it came to be where, you know, he accepted our conditions and our offers, and I think he's more than happy than what he's been presented. You know, he's got a machine right now, and we're just adding bits and pieces to that machine to make it stronger and faster.
I see. So far, so good. We, you guys had your inaugural home opener against Tonawanda Braves JR.B. Also, their first year as well with you guys, and it seemed like you guys were about 3 steps ahead of the game on them. Now, do you think that's something that could have been happening this whole time, or is it kind of just like you said, the machine you guys put together finally starting to work?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, again, talent alone doesn't beat another team. You know, it's a talent plus the discipline, plus being in the right positioning. You know, and that's again where Darius comes into play. So, could we have beaten them with years ago? You know, I think, like I said before, the talent's always been here. But to beat them by 23 goals, again, that takes a little bit of everything. Whether it be obviously you can't. It's tough to win with talent, without talent, I should say. But just everything fell into place. There's actually a couple kids that I wish would come back home and play here that are elsewhere, but I wish them the best. But even if we had those additional pieces, you know, it probably would have been another, you know, it probably would have been 40 to 4 instead of 20. And to be honest, we pulled back the third period, you know, because it was kind of tough to watch. That's my biggest fear right now, is that games are going to be blowouts, and our team will lose focus.
At the end of the day, we're going to put our best foot forward. I can't, and Michael and I and the coaching staff can't predict what the other teams are bringing to the table. All we know is we're bringing our best to the table, our best young Seneca men, you know, and from the surrounding Haudenosaunee tribes. We're going to do the best we can to, you know, try to win a championship. We're not here to have fun and rub elbows. We're here to show the Canadian Lacrosse Association, the CLA, the Ontario Lacrosse Association, that the ILA, the First Nations Lacrosse Association, is here and we're for real. So that's the statement I'd like to make, that we're for real. We're no blowover, we're no joke. You come to play us, you bring your best foot. You may beat us, but we're going to give her all we got.
So you guys are trying to put I'd like to say a little bit of a stamp on the game of where it originated from, and like you guys already said, bringing your players back home. And you touched on it a little bit already with the rival Canadian leagues. I see that this league right here has 4 teams, and eventually you can explain, but the winner of this league goes on and plays into the Founders Cup. And what kind of talent do you expect to see at the Founders Cup?
Well, the Founders is the best of the best, the champions of each league throughout Canada, and including the Iroquois Lacrosse League, which we're a part of. It's a champion of champions for Junior Bs. So you go there, you expect to play the best. You're not going to play. I don't expect 27-4 games. I expect really close games. Each game is going to be like it's its last. You know, like Charlie said, we're trying to bring that Founders Cup home, but we're also trying to validate the Iroquois Lacrosse League too. So you know, there's nobody from our league has won the Founders.
We're going to turn a lot of hits. That's all I can say. A lot of people are going to take a look at us and they know we're not no joke. We're putting, like I said earlier, a machine together. By the time hopefully where we get to where we want to be, it'll be well oiled and these boys will be ready to roll. You know, they're ready now. They're ready to go, and they love to play the game. They play it for the creator and for their families, you know, and that's the nicest part about this whole thing. Their families are here to watch them now. You know, it brings joy to me that they don't have to go sometimes and go for hours, and their families can't go watch because it's a financial burden. Now it's here and they're home, and they can see what their young men can do. So I'm proud to be a part of it with Michael and everyone else that's out there that's helped us get to where we are. Our sponsors, our friends, our family, everyone that's helped us along the way. It doesn't go unnoticed. We didn't do this by ourselves.
With you saying that, I'd like to ask, how happy were the turnout of the first time ever you guys' home opener? I mean, it was it seemed like time flew for you guys. You guys originally planned all this probably last summer, and then about 9 months later, May 22nd, excuse me. It was the first night. It seemed like you let the dogs out. Now, how were you guys feeling emotionally about that game? I mean, the atmosphere, it almost seemed like what was it to you guys?
For me, it was like I was playing all over again. You know, I had butterflies. I've done, working in the Cattaraugus Community Center, I've done a lot of events. You know, in my 4 years as director here. And that's probably the nervous I've ever been. You know, it was more nervous about making sure everything went right. You know, even though we started it, you know, 9 months ago, it still felt like there was so much that last week before the first game that we were still trying to get done. You know, and I guess it was nervous as well because this is the first time I ever had to oversee a lacrosse game that meant so much. I've done tournaments and stuff, but that don't really mean as much to me. You know, because I didn't have to organize when you organize a tournament, you don't necessarily have to worry about a team and that stress of making sure everybody's got the jerseys and making sure everybody's got equipment, you know, and all that kind of stuff that goes into it. Making sure the MC knows what they're saying, and, you know, making sure concessions and admissions and security, so the whole ball of wax was just, it was a lot to take on, you know. But time flew as the game started. It felt like I was watching a game and one period was already done. And I really didn't get a chance to enjoy it as much as I would have liked to. Charlie and I had this vision that we were going to sit in the owner's box and, you know, put our feet up and just watch. And we found out that that really wasn't the case. We still had to attend to business. So it was a very exciting moment. I think for the crowd that we had, you know, it was everybody knew it was history. You know, because even if a team gets in next year, it's already here. You know, so that whole thrill and excitement is not out of it per se, but you can only have it once. And just seeing how much support there was for the fans, you could tell that Cattaraugus and Allegheny, Tonawanda, I seen Onondaga here, I seen Tuscarora here. This whole western region of what they call New York State was excited. They all want it. I think everybody's sick of going out Canada, to be honest. You know, so it was a pretty big event.
I was excited. Our young men got to showcase all their talents. Yeah, the score got ran up, but
People still stayed though.
they stayed. You know, at the end of the day, everyone around here loves lacrosse. They love the Creators game, and you know, it felt good to be a part of it. And, we're doing this for all the right reasons, and you know, I feel proud to be a part of it with Michael and everyone else. Like I said, that's helped out. We've got a great staff, great coaches, great people in the background, and this game's here to stay. The Seneca War Chiefs are here to stay. You know, and I'm just proud to be where we're at right now. One game's gone, you know, and there's more to come. I'm excited for the next game.
The next game you guys are hosting Onondaga Redhawks Junior B. Is it also their first time in the Junior B circuit as well?
No, they've been in it for quite some time. They've held down the ILA position. They're the originator, you know, they're the original Junior B team in this league, and we're just trying to build off of them.
Have they ever lost? Are they the defending champions since it began?
I'm not real sure on specifics. I know they've played. There's other teams in this ILA league. There's Montreal, Kahnawake, Akwesasne, Vermont, Rochester, Onondaga, us, Tonawanda, and I believe next year Newtown will be coming in. So this league will go from 4 teams to 8 or 9 teams overnight. You know, and the boys still get 15 to 20 games a year, and that wouldn't include the Founders Cup if we make it there. If we're fortunate to make it there, our goals are set there. You know, our mind's set there, but we're going to take it one game at a time, and we're going to put our best foot forward each game. You know, and hopefully the fans. You know, we couldn't do it without the fans too. They're here to cheer them boys on, and it felt good to watch over 500 people, you know, fill this arena and watch history. So, you know, there's more to come.
Okay, moving forward, what are you guys' predictions in the next 3 years? What would you like to see come out of this program?
Well, personally, the next step is logically junior A's. If we get that next step, and right now there isn't a junior A's stateside, is there?
No.
So possibly looking at trying to get in the OLA, seeing what the cost would be.
I don't think we'd be able to enter the OLA. The ILA's got a junior program, and we would basically take over a junior A program in the ILA, and we would get a ride to the Minto Cup until such teams in the ILA decide to put a junior A team in, which could be Akwesasne or any of the teams that are already in, or who knows who would jump in. But we would never be able to join the OLA because we're ILA affiliates.
But we brought so much hype, I think, just to the ILA now. And like you know, we were saying, that there's going to be potentially 8 to 9 teams next year. So I'm thinking I'm hoping it just keeps growing, because in Ontario I think there's like over 30 junior B teams.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we get that competition on the state side.
I'd like to see the same thing Michael sees, and then I'd like to get our young men educated. Like you mentioned earlier, scouts. We'd like to have the Seneca War Chiefs and the other junior teams in the ILA be the mecca for the stateside. They come to look at us before they run over to Canada. And you know, we offer some of the best talent in the world right here. People don't realize that, you know. And you know, some of our guys that you don't even know have Man Cup rings, Minto Cup rings. because it's not very publicized on the state side. I'd like to change that someday, where these guys end up going to college, getting degrees, and going to play pro ball, or becoming a successful businessman through the game of lacrosse. So that's kind of how I see where I'd like to see this thing go to.
So you guys like to say this is a platform for these young kids to be showcased on a broader stage to possibly with a higher rate of success of playing in college.
Yep. I know we have a couple college scouts from down south coming on June 6th, the Onondaga game. I mean, they're calling us right now, and they're appearing. And 2 boys just signed their letters of intent this afternoon at the Seneca Nation Library with the head coach. So I mean, it's exciting. We've had 1 game, and there's college coaches appearing. So I mean, we just expect it to get bigger and better, for these boys.
So do you guys like to pretty much be up there with the same platform as like a traditional prep high school that has a football team or a basketball team, like Oak Hill Academy for basketball? That's the go-to place. So you want kids to eventually say this is the go-to team to play for because I have the best rate of moving forward with my career if people want to make a career out of it.
Yes.
And as owners, you guys can dabble in what stipulations would a kid see your team and just say, I want to be a part of it. I guess in your guys' team, what is the minimum requirements? What's the age standard for a JR.B?
15 to 21 is the age. Our requirements, you got to be able to play the game. And, off field, you represent the War Chiefs in the Seneca Nation. We expect you to conduct yourself as such. I mean, I know they're young men and they're going to make mistakes, but we're here to try to guide these young men and stay on the right path to education and school, and play the game for the Creator instead of dabbling in things they shouldn't be dabbling in at that age. So, I guess that's kind of how I see it.
I understand it. This age group, this bracket we're talking about, is one of the most at-risk age groups for drinking and drugs, teen pregnancy, all that kind of stuff that, the suicide rates and all that stuff. All these epidemics that we face on reservation, this group is the highest percentage at risk. So just being able to be there, even if it's a conversation, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about lacrosse, but about life. Just being able to be there, because like I said, when I coached football, it's the same kids that play football, that play basketball, that play lacrosse, pretty much. So at one point or another, our paths have already crossed, and just to be there to see them as they get older and become men, to let them also know that I didn't go nowhere, and I still consider them like little brothers to me. So that being said, from that end, just trying to again be there as war chiefs. It wasn't always about fighting, but it was about protecting our own, and to grow them into men. So again, that was another reason why I like the name War Chiefs, because there's a difference between a chief and a war chief. Your chiefs are more they're negotiators, reasoners. Sometimes you need to have both sides of it. So that's what the foundation is for here. Again, educational requirements and alcohol and drug requirements as well. We're definitely pushing those. So that's our stance.
Moving forward, before we wrap this up, got a couple more questions, but what's the one thing you didn't expect as an owner? What's the one thing that kind of took you by surprise?
Well, I don't know if it took us by surprise, because we both knew we have our own faction of haters. Charlie's got his and I got mine. Sometimes they're duly shared. Sometimes they're singly shared. So we expected the nonsense to come with the jealousy and envy of having a brand new team here. I think what I didn't expect was how much of a team we were going to need to really fully function. That's what kind of caught me off guard. I knew about concessions, really the marketing, public relations, website, Facebook, all that stuff. The front office end of things is really what I didn't anticipate. And I really didn't realize that I had a good idea of how much cost was associated, but I didn't really know until we started spending money. So that's the two things that really caught me off guard. What about you, Charlie?
Man, you know, I've been dealing with national teams for a few years now. You know, and I see how a lot of things work. My oldest son has played for Junior A and Junior B teams. I see the ins and outs of that, so I kind of knew what I was getting myself into on the back end of it. Like Mike said, the front office part of it, and that's where I made the decision where I was going to need help, you know, and so I asked Mike to help me with that. You know, again, he took it forward. You know, he's done a great job. But you know, the paperwork end of it, there's mad paperwork. Even after the games, there's paperwork. You know, things got to get sent. You know, fines have to be paid, and that kind of took me by surprise. The support from the community, I knew we'd have support with it, but the overall response from the community has been great. You know, and it kind of surprised me because I guess I really didn't think about, you know, well, who's going to show up. You know, in my mind it was, let's just build a team, and you know, let's give these boys an opportunity to do something. And you know, the support of the community has been huge and positive, and it's been really great. You know, it's been a great adventure up to now. You know, and we're, like I said, we're moving forward. But you know, all that, you know, and just everything, you know, as far as people helping, you know, where we're getting the help from, you know, in the stands, you know, or missions, or everywhere. So, you know, the run a game, it's a lot of work, you know, filming and everything, you know, it just adds up. But, you know, all that, you know, combined, just, you know, it kind of took me off guard because I just was like, we're going to build a team, we're going to play the game. I know, you know, what we're looking for. Mike knows, you know, what an athlete can bring, you know, what kind of mindset these boys have to have, you know, they got to be team players, all that kind of stuff, which we've done through the work of, you know, our coaching as we were young. So, you know, and I got to give a little shout out to Ed John. You know, he's, a lot of people don't take him for granted, but, you know, that man's put his time in. You know, with me personally as a young man, you know, even with my sons to this day, he coaches them. So I guess that's where everything started for me, you know. So, but I'm just overwhelmed by everyone's support. But as far as being surprised by everything, it's just all the little things, you know, that you're not expecting surprise you.
Now that you guys have the team here, and you've already said that it's here to stay, and moving forward, there's going to be just more opportunities. If you had to dig back in your archives, just go ahead, just, you know, for food for thought, how many guys in the past didn't have that opportunity because, like you guys already said, everyone had to go to Canada? Nationally, you see the Thompson boys bringing that box style across the field, but how many other Thompson players have you seen in the past that really excelled but didn't have this platform that you guys had today? I mean, if you guys had to go ahead and just name one player you know would be a Terwilton Award finalist just in this backyard of the Seneca Nation. I mean, if you guys have any idea off the top of your head, one player that would just, that had all the tools in the bag as a player and the right mindset, but just wasn't given the opportunity that you guys are giving these kids now?
You know, if you look back over the years, you know, I don't think it's just one guy or one girl. You know, there's countless people from all tribes, from all walks of life that needed this platform, needed this opportunity to give themselves exposure with the coaching staff that we present. You know, all these big D1 schools, you know, well, who coached you? You know, well, these boys can say Darius Kilgore coached us. And that brings a lot to their table for their resume when they go to these combines for lacrosse or, you know, for hockey or anything. They're coached by a professional coach. They can take instruction from them, you know, and you know, it means a lot to these guys, these coaches that are in college, at the college level. So,
for me, it was the one if you're talking about an all-out scorer that I played with, it would probably be Drew Stevens. He pops out in mind. The other one, it was vicious. He was a defenseman, but he could score too, and he could fight. That was Jonas Williams. Those are the two that I played with. The other one that comes to mind that was a scorer was Howie. What's his name?
Howie Lee?
Yeah.
Wooly?
No. They call him Howie. Preston.
Preston Lee.
Preston Lee had the most points for New York State, I believe, career. And he didn't even go to college. He's got to be maybe about 27, 28.
Maybe 30. Well, like I said, there's a lot of people that don't have the opportunity, to have the skills, and the mindset is just, it doesn't happen for them, you know. And you know, maybe we can help change, even if we do change one person's life with this, it'd be well worth it for me. Right now, it's well worth it. I'm getting joy in just watching these young men play and showing everybody how good they really are. They're goddamn good. You know, that's just the gist of it. They're good. You give them good coaching, man, sky's the limit for these boys, these young men, and you know, we want to continue this for as long as we're allowed to.
Well, Mike gave me a couple names, but Charlie, we know you got an archives library full. If you had to give one player out there that you knew had all the tools in the bag, do that guy a favor and give him a shout out. That's coming a lot from you because of all the lacrosse you've seen and played and places you've been.
When we were younger, we all played. There was a picture on Facebook tonight. And I got to see a lot of those guys. There's guys on that team that's won Man Cups, that's played Junior A's. I guess if I had to say, for someone my age, that could have went anywhere, done anything, I would be Jason Seneca. He's a phenomenal athlete. You know, but we didn't have this stage when we were younger. So I guess that's kind of, if I got to pick someone, you're going to force me to. That's my guy right there.
Well, moving forward though, now we have this platform. You guys created it, and I think nothing but the world of what's going to come of it. And in the end of the day, I think we all owe you guys a big thank you, many noways, and we look forward to this inaugural season underway. And I'd like to thank you guys for your time.
No problem.
And
there's going to be a lot of growing pains still as an organization, you know, and individuals. And just appreciate you guys, everybody continue to support. You know, we're not professing to be experts. You know, we're learning as we go too. So there might be things that we might do that might offend some people, but we're not trying to. We're just trying to do the best we can with what we've been given. So again, I appreciate the support.
all right.